managed to tick off every box from the Central Area title up to world titles that I was involved with. And a weigh-in, did a world title weigh-in as well for the WBO heavyweight title with Hughie Fury. And I was also then invited onto the area council. For a while I said I'd like to be a referee.
First four were professional fighters. Now we have a professional boxing referee though.
Yep.
I want to introduce you to one of the most skillful, one of the most respected professional boxing referees in the game today. Please welcome Andy Brook.
Hello.
Thanks for coming down, Andy.
You're welcome.
Can you tell us how you get involved into professional refereeing?
Family's got a boxing history. My grandfather was a professional boxer before and just after the war. But I've always been interested in the sport. So I started to train at a kickboxing club that was local where I was living at the time. Moved to a new area, so I was looking for a new gym. And then saw a tweet from Jamie Moore, the Sky Sports guy, an obviously ex-boxer, saying that there was a new gym opening in Harrogate, which was nearby. So I started to train there with a guy called Rob Smith. And after a while, we got to know each other. He and I was training and helping out, coaching the junior section, etc. And he invited me on to be an inspector, which is like a voluntary role with the Boxing Board of Control, where you're an official at the events and you do checkaways on boxers for title fights. You observe hand wrapping in the changing rooms to make sure they're alongside regulations. You do licensing checks, and then you sit in the corners on title fights or some higher profile non-title fights and make sure that the corner is operating within the regulations. Managed to tick off every box from the Central Area title up to world titles that I was involved with. And a weigh-in, did a world title weigh-in as well for the WBO heavyweight title with Hughie Fury. And I was also then invited onto the area council. For a while I said I'd like to be a referee. And so I had to go and start the process of being a referee then.
And what was the process of
Okay, so I had to express an interest, formally in writing, I think. And then I was invited along for interview, a little bit of a rules interview and practical interview with the area council themselves, and who approved it. And then I went on to do what the next stage of training then is scoring tests, where I'm at the ringside at the events. I get allocated the events, and I start scoring the fights alongside the referee that's in the ring scoring the fight. And once my scores are tallying up and matching and they're similar, etc., did that for several months, and then you get invited for an interview at Cardiff, where the head office is, and you are interviewed then by a lot of referees in a horseshoe shape around you, the chairman and general secretary, about rules. And these are all A-star referees, or on the referees committee. A lot of experience between them, and you give your answers about scenarios, rules, etc. And then you come away, and then they tell you that you're ready for, if you pass, to do your practical tests. So you're still unlicensed at this point, such as a referee, and then you get in the ring and you start doing your refereeing practically then. And I'm scoring, but there's also the A-star or A or B class referee sat at the ringside who's the actual official scorer of the fight, because I'm just doing my practical training at that point. So once the fight is done, the MC will say, I don't think the crowd probably hear that much or realise who's scoring, but they will say the referee at ringside scores the fight. 40, 36, whatever it is. So I did that for 6, 7, 8 months, probably a bit, maybe about longer, and then the area council put you forward then after so many assessments, etc., to see if you're good enough for a B licence. And I've got my B licence. I had that for a few years now and got quite a number of fights under my belt, and just waiting to progress through the ranks really and get experience and carry on doing what I'm doing. We're the only country in the world where the referee scores the fight. Or everybody else has judges, but we also have judges for certain fights that are sanctioned by the Board of Control, but then on all title fights have judges appointed as well. I think Central Area fights, it's still the referee that scores that fight. But yeah, so we're looking at boxing, so looking at the skills they're displaying, their work rate, the accuracy of the punches, the scoring punches, as well as looking at the safety, looking at the demeanour, looking how they are. Because obviously you've got to score the rounds, but you've got to make sure both boxers are still healthy. Yeah, you can see, and I'm the best person to see that. Sometimes like the corner can watch it as well and see it, but I'm even closer than the corner. I can get in there, I can see if someone's taking a hard body punch, or they're starting to labour the breathing, or the legs are going a little bit and stuff like that. So
how do you prepare for your fight?
An interesting one really. I don't prepare as such. We get paperwork to say what fights are happening, who's fighting who, etc. I don't research particularly into those fights. Yeah, obviously some are high profile and know who they are, names and such, but I tend not to do it. Look at knockout ratios or this or fight records, because I treat each case on its merits. I'd like to go in. I like to go in the ring without not knowing much about the fighters, and because I'm impartial and neutral, and I just start judging or scoring that fight, refereeing that fight as the two fighters, as opposed to saying, well, no, one's got 30 fights with 20 knockouts, or he had a really good amateur background, or they're from whatever background, etc. I just take it as soon as I'm in that ring with those two fighters, then we start from scratch every time.
What is the most challenging part being a referee?
I suppose it's always challenging. Some fights are challenging to referee. Sometimes if there's a lot of clinching, a lot of holding. I like to personally see fights flow, and I'm sure the crowd do as well, where the boxers are displaying boxing skills and coming in close, then coming back out and keeping the fight flowing. Sometimes fights can get scruffy, a lot of holding, as I say, a lot of clinching or pushing around and leaning on and coming to the ropes or avoiding things, and you're going to start talking to the boxers and saying, try and get your arms out. Sometimes it's, calling the difference between a clinch and a hold sort of thing. If they're boxing and they've got a hold of the arm, you can tap the arm and say stop holding, as opposed to doing a break and stop boxing, stopping in. Obviously if they've both got their arms around each other, a bit of a hug, or one has and stuff, then you can call this step in, say break, step, back, box on. But if the fight's flowing and stuff, they're still punching, but the bit of holding, you can tap the arms and keep things flowing. So that can be quite challenging sometimes, is judging when to keep that fight flowing, whether it's a hold or clinch, or they're not obeying your commands. You can say let go of the arm, and if they're not doing that, then you have to break them apart. And also, no one likes to do it to an extent, but one of the hardest parts is stopping a fight. When you think one of the boxers is in no position to continue, as they say, because obviously the boxers want to fight, they want to carry on. The corners can accept it or disagree with it, but it's subjective. But I'm the one in there that's closest to it, and you're in there to protect them. That's the first priority.
How are you dealing with that pressure?
Yeah, but boxing's not too bad. It's not like, say, football or other sports where the referee gets a berating. People really don't shout at the referee in boxing because they're watching the boxing. So when I'm in there, you're zoned out a little bit as well. All I'm concentrating on is what's happening in the ring. Yeah, I can keep an eye on what's happening in the side ring, say if there's some water in the ring or the corners clapping or banging the ring or something like that. You can keep an eye on things. But you can hear the crowd, but you're concentrating fully on those. It's just for those 3 minutes and that every single round, you're giving them their full concentration. So, but boxing, as you know, anything can happen in a split second. I look at the crowd, or I'll look at something else that's going on, and you've missed a punch or a knockdown, and you think, well, was that knockdown? So you've got to have this vision in order to.
About all the regulation, how do you stay up to date with it?
The border control and the rules, they've not changed much over the years. So once, as you say, you study a few rules interviews, you get that a lot in your head. But sometimes I read there's a little blue book referee's guide that you can just refresh yourself on, technical draws and split decisions and how many rounds need to be completed if there's an injury, say accidental, head clash, etc., etc. But then we just get emails, regular correspondence. If the board have regular meetings, they discuss things, rules, regulations, etc.
What is your most memorable fight and why?
I haven't really got. They haven't got one, but a couple that stick out. One was down at the Magna Centre in Rotherham, where for the first time ever a boxer was knocked through the ropes. And people think he came through the ropes, and even though he's knocked down, but what the rules is you can't just give the eight or 10 count, whatever. It goes up to 20, but they've got to get back in the ring unaided. So that was quite early on as well. But I remember that rule. So it was he came through the ropes, and then even the boxing news and journalist Andy Brook was going, well, why is he counting to 11 and 12 and 13? It was 11, 12, because he then eventually got through the ropes. 13, he was all right to continue, and you go in, but nobody's allowed to help push him up. Do you see what I mean? And then I suppose some of the memorable ones are some of the bigger names that I've refereed. I remember doing Savannah Marshall's third or fourth one, and look at her now. So some of those ones you remember, or your Jack Batesons, your Darren Tetley's, Jason Cunningham, Lee Appleyard. It's people like that. That's some of the shows I've refereed.
Still building it up.
Yeah, and then they've boxed at high levels.
How do you combine your personal life with being a referee?
It doesn't really affect it. No. It's I work shifts, so sometimes I need to organise a bit of time off because I do work weekends and etc. It's fine. Whether it's a Friday night or a Saturday night or something like that, I make sure I'm available. and the appointments lists come out from the board, and we say which ones we can do, and yeah, we crack on.
What is the advice that you would give for an upcoming boxer?
Get a good gym, get a good reputable gym, get good coaches, work hard, stay out of trouble, and get a good amateur background. Don't run before you can try walk. It's to work from grassroots level, and work your way up, as opposed to trying to get things done too quickly or bypass any.
Because whatever comes quickly breaks fast as well.
Yeah,
It's
learn the basics, repetition.
That's it. We can wrap up this interview, and let's just jump on the pads now.
No, yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's go.
What's an old man on the pads?
For an old man, you get some sharp hands though. What is your favorite punch to throw?
I like a 1-2. I like a nice javelin and just a nice straight backhand.
You can't go wrong with jab cross though.
No,
them straight punches. Whenever somebody's coming in, swinging at you, all you have to do is just pop it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's start working out. Okay, so 1-2, and then uppercut. Oh, okay, I can start building up the combination. So nice and easy. Okay, 1-2, and then uppercut. Jab, jab. Yeah. 1-2 uppercut. Boom, boom, jab, cross. 1-2. Yeah. Jab, cross, jab. 1-2. Yeah. 1-2 uppercut. Boom. Yeah. Make sure you reset. Okay. So 1-2. Boom. Yeah. Generate more power straight away. Jab. 1-2 hook. Jab. 1-2 hook. Oh, jab. Jab. 1-2. Uppercut. Combo. Boom. Jab. Jab roll. Time. Nice. Do you have any superstitions before going and refereeing?
A little bit.
Yeah.
As I say, like with the family connection with boxing, when I get into the ring, I always give a nod.
Yeah.
Be up there to say, look after us all.
Yeah.
Yeah, to my granddad and that, my mum, yeah.
Yeah. Was it your granddad who was involved in boxing?
Yeah.
Yeah? How did he do?
On my mum's side, his dad.
Yeah.
Sorry, her dad. He was winning most of his fights up until the outbreak of Second World War. He's described as one of Britain's promising middleweights in the war. 5 years out, a lot of things went on, came back. Had about another 9 or 10 fights and a bit of a mixed record with them.
Okay.
And then stopped, yeah.
What is your favourite defense to use? Is it just face blocks? Yeah, face blocks. We're going to focus even on just parrying and catching, okay? So where we're going to start off, okay, so we're going to go for the jab, parry.
Parry down, yeah.
Then jab, okay, then catch, jab, step to your right side, and then cross over, okay? Come on. Jab, cross, up, 1-2, cross, jab, jab, parry, jab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then step. Yes, jab, 1-2. Uppercut, jab, cross, 1-2 hook, combo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, step off, jab, 1-2, jab, combo now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, step off, jab, 1-2, jab, 1-2, combo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, time!
Done.
Well done. Nice one. Thank you for coming down.
You're welcome.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.